Okay. So what happened with Graphics 2.0 is that we need to handle our use of colors a little differently than the way we've been doing it for the past several years. Normally we would be putting in RGB values 0 to 225, and that's changed now. So we're moving from the RGB color decimal to the percent. And I just wrote a little blog posting about a fix that I found that works for me, and my blog basically blew up. So there's a big argument going on right now in the forums about how to handle colors in Graphics 2.0. But for me, the simplest thing was kind of fitting into my current workflow. I always go to Cooler before I start an app and try to get a palette of colors that I'm going to use. I grab the hex and I take a look at the RGB. So if you just use the RGB colors here, your app's going to end up looking like this, which is pretty dreadful. So here's this color that we're using right here. It's just setting your fill color 0 to 225. That's the old-fashioned way of doing it. Doesn't work anymore, so we got to put in a fix. One way or another, we've got to get from these RGB colors to these RGB colors. So what I do is I go to a website called Color Hexa, and you can just plug in the hex code of your color, scroll down, and you can see that the decimal, you know, is your 223 up to 255. We need to use the percent. So I take a look at this color here. It's really small, but it's like 87%, 35%, 100%. And I just go into my code and just set the fill color to, this is 87.5%. I just move the decimal point over. So we're at 0.875, 0.357, and 1 is basically 100. Save it, and you've got your colors. So this is just really, really, really simple. It just adds a little step into my current workflow, and I can live with that. I know a lot of people are really, really, really mad and not handling it very well. So I mean, unless there's a rollback of the way we handle colors, this is kind of what we need to do. Or you can take your decimal percent, which you've already set, and just divide everything, each one of these values, by 255. That works. But for me, I wanted to, you know, migrate to the new Graphics 2.0 system, and I also really wanted to make it just like one line of code without any more, you know, changing of values or any functions or anything like that. Some people have written color scripts. I know Glitch Games has GG Color, and he's upgraded his stuff. So that's another option you can use. But for me, if you can do it in one line, for God's sake, just do it in one line. So that's it.
Words of wisdom. I love it. Yeah, that's great.
Well, for God's sake, do it in one line.
For God's sake, do it in one line. Mother of God.
I really can't understand that. I mean, I understand people wanting it to be the way it was, because then you don't have to change your code. But oh, I'm coming through on your screen.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to like stop.
Me.
I'm trying to stop screen share. How do I do that? Okay.
Oh.
Stop screen share.
Yeah, well, you know, it's yeah, I agree. And at first I was a little adverse to it myself because, you know, the hex color codes are, you know, it's like as a web developer, it makes sense, right? It's just kind of like, oh, okay, I get this.
Yeah.
And for the most part, you know, because whenever you want to change a color, I mean, it's red, green, blue, and you're like, okay, well, I want more green, or I want more. I mean, even if you want to go off the grid and kind of come up with your own colors, you can kind of do that without having to have a color chart.
Yeah.
But you know, this is really sort of geared towards more of the future of things, and you know, the high def. More high def colors and that sort of thing.
We were wondering if the move towards Windows phones might have something to do with it. This came up in the forum today, and I was just thinking possibly. I don't know. Maybe these are color solutions that we're going to have to handle.
Yeah, just across the board. I mean, if you look at a lot of the language that Walter's been using in his blog posts and things like that, I mean, he uses like terms like, you know, painting with color, yeah, or painting with light, or you know, and so this idea of being able to go in and get a lot more precision and a lot more a lot more definition out of your colors is kind of the direction of things. So
yeah.